Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and I still can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've given me these past few months. And with the 1,000 subscriber milestone, I said in a video about a week ago I'd be making a Q&A, and so for all the people that left questions, I'm going to be answering them in this video, without a script or anything like that. And so let's just jump in. So I made an effort to answer most of your guys' questions. There were a few funny ones. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoy. And so, there's just going to be some general gameplay in the background, and I'll just pop up the questions that I'm reading as I'm answering them. And just to start this off, sorry if I mispronounce your usernames or your names, because I am really bad at pronunciation. So, just forgive me in advance if I do mispronounce your name. So first, Leon Lord says, what are your thoughts on the Genji and Lucy buff, newest patch? And, actually, you probably meant nerf, but they were nerfed, not buffed. If you guys don't know, they both lost 50 health. And, I kind of talked about it in depth in my patch breakdown, if you want to watch that. But in short, since they both lost 50 health, I think that is really good for Genji. Because Genji's playstyle, he kind of is supposed to flank, he's supposed to not get caught, he's not just supposed to stand in the middle and be able to fight, like one-on-one a lot of people. But with 200 health, he can do that. So I think losing 50 health on Genji was really good, but the nerf on Lucio, I understand he was really, really good, but if anything, I really wanted them to not nerf his health, because that was what was special about Lucio, is he had enough health and damage to be able to actually fight. And so if they wanted to nerf him, I would have hoped that they would have nerfed, his maybe damage a little bit or his rate of healing by a tiny bit, but I don't like him losing that health. Yeah, but if you want to hear that, more in depth, there is the March 1st patch breakdown, but that's pretty much my opinions on those two people. Then by Roshi, if a new Overwatch character was released, then what abilities do you think they will have? I think, because before we got the last 3 new heroes, which were Genji, Mei, and D.Va, I thought it was perfect. I thought we weren't missing any character imaginable. And then the 3 came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. So it's kind of hard to think about what's missing. But if anything, I think a lot of people are talking about stealth characters, and I personally do not want, just, a character that can go invisible or disguise. But I think something that we might see in the future, and it may or may not be the next Overwatch character, would possibly be something to do with illusions. Maybe a support, since we're losing supports, and some type of support that can create illusions that buff teammates and stuff, so it can confuse your enemies, but also the illusions have a purpose to where they're, buffing or healing teammates. And so I think if we see a new hero, that it might be something along those lines, but there's probably a million, ideas that could be great for heroes. But that's just kind of something I think we might see at some point. Then Steve Jensen says, what is your favorite game and what got you interested in games? Well, my favorite game besides Overwatch, I guess, would probably have to be Dota 2. And, I'm a big fan of MOBAs, and Dota 2 was kind of just the first MOBA I played. And I've given, League of Legends about 100 hours of, trying out. I've played Heroes of the Storm for about 100 hours, and I like Dota 2 the best. Some people might not agree, but that's just kind of the game I like. That's the game I started playing first, so I know everything about all of the heroes, whereas if I try to play League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm, of course I could learn, but it's just, I don't really know them, and there's a lot of different things. Like, as an example, in Dota 2 there is a turning rate, and in League of Legends there isn't, and so, that could be good or bad. It just depends on what you really want, but it's just because I'm used to stuff like that, little details like that, it's kind of hard to get into other MOBAs that don't have those. But, I definitely every now and then try to give them other shots. But yeah, so Dota 2 is my favorite game. And what got you interested in games? Well, when I was really young, and I mean 4 or 5 or some really young, I had a blanket that I brought around everywhere. And at some point my dad was like, because they tried to take it away, in various ways, because you probably shouldn't still have a blanket. And so he kind of bribed me with the PlayStation 1. He said, I'd buy you a PlayStation 1 if you give up your blanket. And it turns out he had ended up winning it from, some prize. And he was going to give it to me anyways, but I didn't know that. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I got the PlayStation 1 and I fell in love with it. Some of the earliest games I remember playing was like Shrek 2, or that might have been the PlayStation 2. I don't know, there was just a bunch of fun games, and when the PlayStation 2 came out, you know, I saved up my money and I bought that. And then so I was just kind of playing those casually, but what got me really invested was when I switched over to Xbox, and I started playing Xbox 360 with all my friends and played online and all that great stuff, and I was like, oh, I really like games. And eventually, you know, I moved over to PC, but that was kind of when I started getting really, really interested into games. Then Amvis says, are you planning on making videos on games other than Overwatch? And the short answer is no, but the long answer is possibly. In the, you know, near future and for a long time, you know, I'm dedicated to Overwatch. I feel like, you know, I really like Overwatch. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played in my life. And, you know, I'm slowly building this community of people that like Overwatch along with me. And so I don't see myself becoming someone else that is just, you know, playing all these other games. Now, say there's a game that comes out and it just grabs my attention so much where I need to tell people about that. Maybe I make, you know, a single video just kind of talking about it. But other than that, I don't see myself making other videos, you know, other videos besides Overwatch. Yeah. Then Kofi Lacefield says, would you be willing to play with your subscribers when Overwatch gets released? And what are your top 5 heroes you would recommend for starters? Well, of course, when the game comes out, I'll just, I don't have the best internet, so I can't, like, you know, kind of stream and play with my subscribers and followers and all that good stuff like that. But I will definitely be willing to add, you know, anyone's Battle.net that wants to, and, you know, we can play some games and all that great stuff. And say I need something special, like, you know, I want to do a 6v6 all Genjis or something like that, and I need some people to play with, I might, you know, post on Twitter like, hey, you know, add me on Battle.net or all that good stuff. So definitely be following me in case I do stuff like that. And what are your top 5 heroes you would recommend for starters? Well, I'm actually making a video about that because I have had a few people ask me that, because a lot of people, since they're getting into beta, they don't really know who to play. But, so just be on the lookout for that video that's going to come out in the next week or two. Then from the Ambassador, we have, what's your favorite game mode, hero, weapon, ability, ultimate? What kind of hero would you like to see added to the game? Well, my favorite game mode would definitely have to be King of the Hill, just because in King of the Hill it feels a lot more intense, and it feels like there's more action going on, because in games like Payload and Control Points, you know, one of the teams is defending, and so they can kind of relax a tiny bit. They don't have to constantly push, but in King of the Hill, both teams need to get that point. And it's always concentrated in, most of the time, you know, the single area, which is the point. And so, yeah, that's why that. And my favorite hero is Reaper. I've been having a lot of success with him. It's really fun to be able to melt people, including tanks, you know, in mere seconds. Favorite weapon would probably be Reaper shotguns for the same matter. Ability would probably be Symmetra's turrets, just because it's really fun to be able to bunker down in an area or hallway and just prevent the entire enemy team from even going there remotely. So that's probably my most fun ability. It maybe not be the best ability in the game, but it's definitely one of my favorites. And my favorite ultimate would probably be Divas, just because it's really fun to be able to get back into your mech. It's fun to, you know, stay in your mech, get out, and then get back in, and constantly, you know, be going into your mech. And I guess on the flip side of that, you also have the ultimate, you know, the huge explosion. So I guess it's a 2-in-1. So that's definitely my favorite ultimate. And what kind of hero would you like to see added to the game? Very similar to what I said, you know, a little bit earlier, probably be, as long as they balanced it to not be annoying, possibly some type of support that can create illusions. Just as long as there's no invisibility, there's no disguising, anything like that, because I could definitely see illusions, people like that, working out. Then by Marius, which other Overwatch-related YouTube channels are you watching that's yourself, or for that matter, which other channels in general do you like? Well, in terms of Overwatch-related YouTube channels, you know, I really like One Amongst Many, Arms Race, Soul, Tactical Koala, all those people that have kind of been here from the beginning. I've kind of made friends with a lot of them. They're definitely really cool people. You should check them out if you haven't. And what other channels in general do you like? Stir, he actually makes a few Overwatch videos and he streams Overwatch a lot, but I really like him. He's probably one of my favorites. And Jerma as well. They're probably my two favorite non-Overwatch dedicated YouTubers. JMO, who is your favorite hero? Like I said, Reaper. It's really great to be able to, melt people. And also, the reason why I like Reaper a lot is because, first of all, he has an escape, like a guaranteed escape, which a lot of heroes don't have. So you can kind of go in, poke around, get a kill. Then you can, escape using your Wraith form and get a health pack and go back in, and you can kind of do it. And it's really cool to have an escape, and he has a teleport, so you can easily get behind the enemy team and flank them. So it's just, it feels like he has a little bit of everything. And then Liam Gorel says, what do you do outside of YouTube? Well, I'm actually a student currently, so I'm kind of balancing all these exams and all this great stuff while making YouTube videos. But other than that, besides playing Overwatch, not too interesting there. I'm kind of a boring person. And lastly, Martin says, do you know and can you tell us the square root of pi? Yes, I can. It is exactly 1.772453850991 with a lot of other digits at the end of that. See, I'm a very intelligent person. I actually study the square rootology of pi. So, anytime you need to know square root of pi, you can always ask me. Yeah, but hope you guys enjoyed this kind of short Q&A. And, if you guys ever want to just ask me a question, just feel free to, comment anywhere, and I'll be happy to answer you guys. And like I said earlier, thank you guys so much for supporting me. I couldn't do any of this without you guys' support. And I can't even explain how much I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. But if you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more Overwatch content news. See you guys next time.